Perspectives, different views, one voice.
Welcome to the Perspective podcast. My name is Cam. I'm in the studio with
Mo.
What happened to the friends? Well, we're not friends anymore.
Slip my mind. So yeah,
it's fine. You can leave it, mate. If I'm not your friend, it's fine. It's fine. It's Kojo. You're a good man.
Ali.
Let's start. Well, anyone catch the fight? Fury and Wilder fight?
No, sorry, I didn't.
Yeah, no, I watched it. Very entertaining fight.
Well, from the highlight, Fury was quite disappointed in himself. He wanted to at least go second or third round, and but obviously he's gone up to second round, and it's quite interesting. I think, as what Cam was saying, because I never watched the match myself, but what Cam's saying that Wilder was already exhausted within the situation. And so yeah, that's probably the experience. But for me personally, Fury is good experienced boxer. He is a fighter, and as what we can acknowledge now from Wilder, he's more as a knockout. So I'll call him the one punch man. So yeah.
Have you seen the series?
Yeah, that is cool.
Have you seen One Punch Man?
That's one of the best animations
best
out there.
animation.
I'll call him One Punch
There's
Man.
an animation called One Punch Man.
Yeah,
His
Wilder's
fight
good.
scene's literally
Wilder's
like
that.
one punch and that's it. Done.
Hey, I missed the fight when it went on live, and I planned my whole night. Planned to get up at like 4 to watch it and get it set up at 5 o'clock, and I just fell asleep. I fell asleep, and then my missus wakes up and she goes, it's 6 o'clock, and I was like, damn. Checked, and I could see that the fight finished, but I didn't want to know what the result was, so I said, I'm gonna go to bed.
Good old YouTube.
I'm gonna go to bed and wait till it comes on YouTube so I can catch the full fight, and I just wasn't gonna check my phone. And it's interesting because we live in a world now where information travels so fast. So it's like you pick up your phone, you're just going to be informed of the result, immediately. It's crazy the world we live in, how fast that sort of stuff travels. So waited till about 9 o'clock, made sure I avoided any form of media that could have informed me as to the result. And then I watched it on YouTube, full fight. And you know what? I wasn't surprised at the result. I thought from the first fight, I thought Fury won that fight. I think it only became a draw because Wilder dropped him, and Wilder did what he's supposed to do. The only thing is he just didn't keep him down.
That's it.
I think in the last fight it was a boxing masterclass where Fury completely outboxed him, and he did the same thing today. I mean, he did the same thing with this fight. Wilder just looked like a completely different person. Like, he just didn't look himself. He really didn't, and he probably wasn't prepared for what was to come.
I must admit, though, Fury did come differently to this fight, because literally as soon as the first bell rang in the first round, Fury just comes running straight at him, and you could just see Wilder was just really not ready.
Because that was not part of the game.
Yeah, he's not ready.
For Fury to try to move around, to try to keep out of reach, and not for Fury to take it to him. And as I said,
took it straight to him.
My Tyson has got a call. Everyone has a plan until they get hit in the face.
That's so true.
That's the best line anyone could ever say. Every boxer has when you eat that punch in that ring, there's no running space. Right? That's it. It's a different game.
Wilder's dangerous with that right hook. It's like I've never seen anyone that can just knock someone out just from like. It's so dangerous. And some people turn around and say, "Yeah, but he can't box." But bro, if he catches you with that, you're finished.
I know, but
it's dangerous. It's dangerous, and it's worked for 40. What is this? 40. It's worked for 41 fights for him. That strategy's worked. 41 fights.
But it was never going to take. It could only take him so far. As in, the technical ability clearly proves that no matter how lucky of a puncher or powerful or whatever, as long as your technical ability is there, you're always going to outclass certain fighters like that.
Yeah.
But then that's the thing, obviously with the game of boxing, that's part of it. I think that's his skill in itself, to have that power, because a lot of boxers would love to have that power.
Yeah.
So that's to his benefit. But then it's always one thing where you're so reliant on that.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the thing, because he doesn't have a plan B.
No.
It's just that plan A.
Yeah.
And when that plan A doesn't work, he's in trouble. And that's something he should have seen even from the first fight with Fury. The alarm bells was there.
Yeah.
For you to say that, you know what, when this trying to find this one punch to land that one punch, when that's not working and the person is able-footed, Fury is just, I don't know how that guy does it, 6 foot something, how he moves around so fluently. Like, once you know that's happening, then you need to think about what is my plan B, plan C. You need to like think of those levels.
And it's not even...
I still feel like he just went in there with his plan A because, as you said, 41 fights, it's always work. Why change it?
And
you get docked in the face.
what is so funny about it, the critical part of it, is that I'm sure Fury has analysed him as well. You understand? Properly. Like, if, as what you mentioned, if you don't have plan B, what else? What other option you have? So, as you said, Mo, first round, he was just at him like a rock wilder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that kind of like level, it will show that, okay, I'm ready for this guy. Yeah. But then what's so funny about Fury as well, which he mentioned, that he's got a new manager.
Yeah.
So, a new trainer. So a lot of people was quite hesitating and trying to give him that, are you sure what you're doing is correct? And he said, no, I've got all my trust with him. And obviously all that technical movement, the training that he did, he said he implement exactly that into the fight. And then when I watched his bio as well, what he mentioned as well, what I realized about his family, because he's Egyptian king, what I realized his family, each one of his bloodline, they were fighters, like normal fighters. So thinking, if someone...
I agree. Someone mentioned that it reminds him of watching, you know that Brad Pitt movie?
Snatch, yeah.
How was that? I haven't seen it.
He's bloody fighting. You knock them down, they still get up. You knock them down,
still to get up.
Nah, I didn't watch that movie.
I need to watch it. It's funny.
It's one of the... It's a classic.
But trust me,
it's a classic movie.
The way he ended that fight, though, I must admit, he's funnier than most comedians out there, because Fury is just too much jokes. He ended it by singing a song to the crowd. I don't know if you know it. There's one old school song called "Bye Bye Miss American Pie," and he got everyone to sing along as well. I just thought, nah, he's mocking. He is mocking.
No, that was a good entertainment, though. That was a good entertainment.
He is entertainment.
Yeah.
Fury is entertainment.
I should say something, innit? Like, I'm a hater when it comes to Fury.
Yeah,
I'm a straight up hater. I root for the black person. Wow, but I'll 100% say it, mate. So obviously, as a boxer, I know that he's a good boxer, but I'm gutted that Wilder lost.
You should have seen Wilder's walk-in, because it was sort of like an homage to like all these powerful black, because it's Black History Month in America.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it was. He had all these pictures of different black inspirational figures,
and he get knocked out like that. God damn!
I saw him sitting down.
He had a mask on which had like black diamonds on it. It was like a helmet or whatever, and it had a crown as well, a black crown.
Really?
Yeah. It was one of the entrances.
I'm gutted that he lost, man.
I'm picturing him. He was sitting down in the boxing ring, right? He sat down like that. It's like he was knocked out, and he was just sitting down. Is that?
Oh yeah, I heard people singing "Sit back down," what you mean? Sit back down, what you mean? Yeah, he got knocked on his bum.
Trolling,
got knocked on his bum.
But what do we think though? He's going to come in as a rematch or a third match? What?
No, I think Fury's going to want to go for Joshua.
Fury's going to want, but then Wilder's defending his title, so he is entitled to a rematch.
Of course, you mentioned something important. What you say?
I said it depends on the clause in the contract, but I presume, I'm sure he would not have. He must have some activation clause.
Yeah.
Silly not to.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Well, coach, you mentioned something important. You said that how if Wilder was smart, it would have gone for AJ. Can you elaborate into that?
I just think, like, obviously, with the way Wilder's fight is here, Fury is always, as a boxer, any boxer in that division, you have to be wary of Fury.
Yeah.
You have to.
All of them.
Because for me, when it comes to a point, 12 rounds based on point, Fury is winning, hands down. Like, it makes no sense. If you're not able to knock him down, he's going to win that fight. So any boxer, especially a boxer like Wilder, because Joshua could actually box.
Yeah.
Like, people keep talking about, he went to the Olympics. Olympics was all about boxing
Technical
for points. It's like
ability,
technical ability. So he could actually box. That's why Joshua switched it up when he had the rematch with what's that fat guy that got money, and the money got to his head. The guy was crying after the fight. I should have trained harder. Idiot, man. The money got to his head. I was flashing it.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
Money
And
got to his
also
head, yeah.
got to his head and stuff. Yeah, but that's why Joshua was able. Joshua has a plan B. He's able to switch up and fight that kind of style to win on points. Whereas with what's his name, Wilder, what I was saying, because of this type of style that he has, for me, if I was in his management team, that Fury would have been a wide swipe for me, mate.
Yeah.
Would have been like,
Would have been
don't go
avoiding
there,
that.
don't go there, fight Joshua. You have a chance of knocking this guy out. Because Joshua, you can always catch Joshua. That's a problem.
And the thing is,
And with the kind of powerful punches that he has, if he lands one with Joshua, it'll be
yeah, Joshua's not that strong as well. He's not getting back up.
It's not getting back up.
He's not getting
It's
back
not
up.
built like that. That's why I said that. But then obviously I said that after the draw, but I think after the draw was too late. He had to it was the mandatory challenger, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but the gypsy people are quite strong, though.
For me, that's the stereotype, man.
Why would you say that?
Because for me, it's a
worked.
stereotype.
No, but I've
How
worked
many
with
gypsies?
I worked with gypsies.
How many gypsies do you know?
How many gypsies do you know?
you're
Personally, I
It's a
know quite a
stereotype,
lot of a handful. A handful. They're quite strong. They're strong people.
Stronger, and how do they show you how strong they are?
By physical way of working. Like
I see
how
black
they-
people physical.
how they
people
work,
that-
how they work
Construction.
in
I
construction.
see people what bricks and stuff back home and stuff. What people do that? That's not.
Well, I'm talking
what's
about.
that meant to mean?
I'm talking about here. I'm not talking about
I
back
just-
home. Back
no,
home
but
is
even, no, because
it's a different
I guess when
environment.
you talk about black is black, innit? Whether
Yeah.
you're back home or you're here, you still
Yeah.
have that strength. It's whether you use it or you're not doing that same manual labor. But if you're to be doing that manual labor, it doesn't mean you can't do it. I just feel like it's a stereotype that they go with these.
No, but personally, it might be a stereotype, but
thought it's a
gypsies are still
stereotype.
strong. I think they're strong.
I just feel
I think they're strong. They're
It's one
strong.
of
They
those
are
ones,
strong
innit?
people.
Snatching stuff helps fulfill
Yeah.
those kind of typical views.
Perpetuate those stereotypes.
Yeah.
Well,
Of course.
Perspectives, different views, one voice.
Well, moving on. Anyone catch the Brits this week? Brit Awards.
Actually, I didn't.
No,
I just watched. I watched the Stormzy and Dave performance, but I didn't catch.
I didn't watch the award show. I saw Dave's performance. I didn't actually catch Stormzy's performance.
No, it's really, really good performance, man.
Really?
Yeah. I like Stormzy, man. I feel like those guys are like at the full front, especially the pinnacle of where they've gone in their career. They could choose to not tackle some of these issues within our community and not talk about it. But I just give them like, what they say, kudos or whatever they say, man. I give them a bit of fin for actually tackling this.
Yeah.
Because that Dave performance, like, what did you make of it?
That Dave performance was powerful. It was really powerful, and I just thought I liked aesthetically how it was presented as well when he was on the piano, and sort of the images that popped up on the piano when he was performing, and yeah, it was just I felt the passion in the performance. And that's what I like to see when I see those sort of things. I like to feel the passion from the performer, and he definitely conveyed that in that performance.
Was that two piano? Was it?
It had two
sides.
sides.
Two
sides,
sides,
innit? Yeah, I thought he's actually technical. Can he
He
actually
could
play?
play.
Yeah.
He could play the piano.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. This is the guy. He's talented like that.
very
man. He
talented,
could
yeah.
play.
I
like,
saw that, yeah.
He's a proper musician, man. That's what's good to see because I've been trying to convince my son. He's doing piano lessons, but he doesn't see because a lot of the times they're doing it. They're like, "Oh, what am I going to do with this?" They don't
benefit,
see
yeah.
what the benefit is or the outcome of some of these things.
Yeah.
So when they watch these kind of things, I say to them, "Look, you actually, even if you are a musician, you don't just have to rap. You could actually make your own music. This is what you can see what he's doing. You know what I mean? And for me, as a musician, as a rapper, you get extra credit for being able to do stuff like that. That's what I personally say,
believe
being
that.
able
I
to play
believe that.
instruments
Yeah,
and stuff.
that's what you say. You're right.
So that was good to see. Man.
Yeah, I think for me, because when I first listened, I had no idea he could play the piano. So I knew before this performance, and for me, that is something I find really impressive when you're an artist and you could play, certain instruments. Because then I guess from that, there's something to be said about artists that can play instruments.
Yeah.
Especially can write music as well.
Yeah.
I think there was a performance he had on the BBC. That was the first time I knew that the guy could actually play the piano.
He was playing it.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, he was playing on it. But then I think, obviously, the message as well. That's the thing I say about these guys, and I feel like people have to be brave, and these young men are setting the trend of being brave. In the kind of climate that they're in, they could choose not to tackle this, and we know a lot of musicians have come and gone and never mentioned some of these issues that go on in
Especially
the black
our
community.
generation. Our generation.
And I feel like I give them credit for being able to do that. Like when you look at the stuff that he was saying, because he mentioned Grenfell Tower again about them not getting, even some of them are still looking for housing, accommodation and stuff like that. And then he mentioned about Boris being racist.
And then Windwash.
And he talked about equality and how equality is not. Do you know what I mean? Some of the stuff that he's saying in there, it's like, wow.
And I like the way he turned it. in that, you know, he said there's words of we're the least racist, you know, but the least racist is still racist. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, you like the play on words?
Yeah.
that you use, yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
Was that his like opening or what? Or was it just a performance?
That was towards from what I saw, the performance, that was towards that was when they have I don't know, most probably someone famous, but I don't care about these people, man. The other person that started playing the piano, you most probably know him, Con.
Who?
The other person that came to play on the
other side. I don't know who he
okay.
is.
It's supposed to be people that know about music thinking these guys, how can you not know this guy? Anyway, I don't know him, but
he's also famous.
I don't know, most probably.
I feel like he's a producer that works with Dave, and I don't want to get his name wrong. His surname might end with Fraser.
What was he from N-Dubs you're talking about?
No. But like, I mean,
well, N-Dubs, Fraser.
I mean, with that being said, I mean, like,
I said
for me,
Fraser, but like,
for me, like, I listen to Dave's. I'm not someone who listens to a lot of like British music or British urban music, because I think from when I was younger, I listened to a lot more American stuff. I was much more influenced by that, and I had family in America as well, so I was more into sort of hip hop and rap. But like, I see now how the UK urban scene is starting to pick up. I mean, it's always had a bit of a buzz, but even when I speak to like younger people and how they see things, some of them don't listen to American artists. They don't listen to anyone.
Young people
They
don't listen to
anyone.
American artists. They just listen to UK artists.
Yeah, that's all they do. Is
I
listen
never
to
knew
UK
that.
artists.
So
That's what they do.
it's changing now. It's
Oh, yeah, it's
diverting.
completely changed.
But I
now.
must say, for me personally, I don't listen to American artists. Hence the reason why you mentioned Pop Smoke. Like, who's this guy? And I only knew of him when he passed because I don't.
Yeah, I was the same as well.
I don't listen to. No, I don't listen to.
So
Like the only people that I'll listen to will be Kendrick Lamar or J. Cole. Like
old
I
school.
follow them religiously.
What about old school?
If they release something, I'll
yeah.
listen like Dreamville. I'll listen to those kind of because I listen to the album and I like stuff like that because I'm a bit more on the conscious side of it.
They're quite
But
introspective though.
Yeah,
with their albums, though,
with their stuff. And obviously in the UK, like
What about the old school though in America?
Yeah, so who'd you listen to in the UK then?
in the UK, I listen to a lot of Wretch, a lot of Kano, a lot of. I've actually like Krypton Conan's album's really good, man. They
Is it?
play on
Really?
words. Oh my days! Hey, it's one of the if you like lyrical content, it's one of the best albums I've heard.
No, I need
They
to give
play
them a
on
chance.
words. This is the stuff. Yeah, I didn't want to give them a chance because I'm like Krypton Conan. They were not really down my avenue of like people that I listen to. But I remember on one of the platforms we were talking about new albums and stuff, and Kofi put on Krypton Conan. I'm like, Krypton Conan, what are you talking about? And it was just like, have a listen to this specific song. I start listening to the album. I could have the album on repeat. Just the play on
Really?
words. They say certain words here. It's just funny. It's just something about something I smacked Jack and Daniel. Just they were playing on the scene about being in the club. Like, trust me, man. Like,
J Hoss though, J Hoss.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
That's
J
another
Hoss,
his album.
Stormzy.
I've been listening to it. It's sick. For me, I like him. What about the old school though? Are you into
See,
that?
even like people like Jay Huss, I don't listen.
Fam, he's a musician, man. Man, Gucci. No, that's not. That's
Yeah, but I for me personally, Dave, when was it you that uploaded it into the?
Yeah, I said it.
Yeah, when I listened to it and I was thinking, damn, these black artists are quite young. They're very young.
Yeah, it's
They're in
Revenge
the-
is Sweet. It's the album. Revenge is Sweet and Krypton Conan.
They are
excellent.
They are
Have a listen.
They're in the early.
yeah.
They are in the early stage, in the early 20s, and they're so young. And as what you mentioned, they're tackling the situation. It is inspiring.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere that when Dave was performing, I'm thinking, damn. Okay, it might be a time where it's going to die off, but the fact that it's in history now is something to remembered.
But
And
you know
that's
what?
what's important is.
I think for me, when I had a little, because I was into music production and all these kind of stuff, and the key thing I say to people is about being authentic. When you're authentic, longevity is easy to maintain.
Yeah.
People like Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, they do their own stuff. They do stuff that they feel like they need to put out there.
They're not following the trend
They're not following
or-
the
yeah.
trend, and that's the stuff like Dave and stuff are doing. So someone like Dave could be like Nas easily because you're still relevant somehow when you
Yeah.
drop something because people know what to expect of you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like that authenticity of how they are, and this is stuff. And the only reason why I say they're authentic because they're touching on things that a lot of people will shy away because of some of the bad press that could come your way.
Yeah.
Because of how you could be viewed in the public eye. Dave has done stuff like talking about Theresa May,
Question
Grenfell.
time, yeah.
Mate, he's like literally like, and Stormzy has done the same thing as well. I like Stormzy. Stormzy album is actually really good as well.
I listened to his first album, which I liked. I thought that was good.
His album.
Really good.
So yeah, Stormzy, Dave, all them guys there, have them on repeat, man. And yeah, now Krypton Conan. Apart from them, J Hus talks
like
about
his album,
stuff,
yeah.
But J Hus will make their bangers as well with it. Like when you listen to his album, he's talking about some real stuff as well.
He is.
Really?
Yeah. J Hus he's a serious guy. No, I like J Hus.
I need to give him a chance.
No, it's good. This album, his new album is good.
J Hus is one of the best. He's one of the best artists in the UK. Hands down.
No, because I've seen things.
Is he number one as well?
I've seen things where people have said like J Hus,
What?
like he's probably like.
No, his new album is good.
Now.
He's serious.
Since he came out of prison.
I know his album's number
That
one.
album.
And you know, I know definitely, and I've heard like so many people say to me. I think even in some of the groups I'm in, like people talking about J Hus and just saying like he's the best.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the best out there, man. He's got a song because he's got one song with Burna Boy, and he's got a song with Coffee as well on his album. He's got a few mixtures in there.
The Kofi one was sick as well.
Yeah,
like
but
that.
he makes some serious songs. But the UK, I don't know why you guys are sleeping on the UK.
But you know what?
American music for me is bubblegum.
No.
It's like for me personally, like
For me, my opinion on the UK is this grill music. I'm not too touchy about it.
But then that's the thing, though. The UK is not
that's
just
a
about drill; it's a
subgenre.
subgenre.
Yeah, but I think the good drill is like they are overdoing it too much.
What do you mean overdoing?
Like, for example, there's that light skinned guy. What's his name?
You're talking about Fredo.
Yeah, Fuego, for example. When he did one of the, I'm sure he did a drill music, right? He
Not really true. Is he
It's
just
like more trap, if you want to say
a trap or something like that. But there is certain artists that are doing trap or grill music, and it's nice, and I like it. But most of these upcoming artists, like for example, like YouTubers, for example, most of them are.
Who's YouTubers though?
Like
you can't pass a thing like that, yeah, and just say YouTubers. Like, what are you talking about?
Someone who's drill was Heady One. He's drill music.
Yeah, you see him, he's touch and go for me, you know, Heady One.
Really?
Yeah, like I like him on verses than his actual songs. Because I feel like he's a really good rapper. When I hear him on other verses, I'm like, yeah, he's going. But when I listen to his actual songs, I don't like personally, his style of music, I don't like.
Okay.
Like, that's the thing. So when you mention drill, I'm not really a drill fan like that. I can understand why the young people, because for me, I just feel like it's repetitive.
That's what I was trying to say. That's why
like, personally,
Yeah.
but then I must say, obviously, growing up, listening to certain music, the older generation thought the same way.
Yeah.
So I will take that on board and be like, yeah, it's because of my generation and stuff. So I'm not really bought into drill, but when it comes to like the rap or even like Fredo, the traps and stuff, I'm like, yeah, they're doing some really good stuff. I feel like they're making some really, really good music. The drill, some of it is hit and miss for me.
Yeah,
most of it's a miss, but I must say I'm not really that into it. But I don't have a problem against it because the drill, for me, is reflective of the communities that they live in. They're just talking about the same stuff because, you know, there's been conversations about drill music and the influence and stuff.
Yeah.
That's just like when rap music came out. There was conversations about that. And I just feel like it's part and parcel of always trying to... Because these young people are making a career for themselves where it would have never existed. Plus, they have media platforms that they could become famous through.
Yeah.
The thing that is very interesting, though, in that whole conversation is about... Because some of them are famous through their notoriety.
Notoriety, yeah.
Notoriety, yeah. So due to that, it's almost like you have to like keep doing grimy stuff in order for you to get more. That's the only aspect of it that I'm not really too sure that influence social media has on it.
What do you think about the King of North?
Who's that?
Bugsy Malone.
I like Bugsy Malone.
He's doing well.
Bugsy is a good rapper.
I watched the movie. I watched The Gentleman with Matthew McConaughey and Bugsy Malone.
I still want to watch that.
He popped up in it, yeah, but I was like, right, it's with Colin Farrell.
Oh yeah, it's one of the new ones.
Basically,
What
is it a movie? The new age Snatch and take over Snatch.
It's made by the director who made
Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie, yeah. I like Guy Ritchie. His films are hit and miss sometimes as well, but yeah.
Nah, I think most of these films are good.
Gentleman's
No,
good.
not most of it, man.
I think most of them are
He's got
good.
some
I
really
like
good
him.
ones, and he's got some really misses, man.
He has had a few.
Also,
misses.
Bugsy Malone is in there.
What?
He's a good rapper.
Was it a
Bugsy is
short?
a good rapper.
Was it a short
Bugsy
scene? Was it a short scene?
Is it like a cameo?
No, he played a character in there.
Oh,
He played
okay.
an extra character.
He
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Do you know
I
what I
need
like
to
about
watch it. I need
Bugsy?
to watch it.
I think he's a good rapper. I personally think he's a good rapper, but I think especially in the UK scene where it's mostly dominated by London artists.
Yeah.
For someone like him to be able to, and he makes really good music. Him and who's the other guy? There's
There's
guy,
another
man.
one. Yeah.
Yeah?
The white.
No.
Oh, he's hard.
He's
Which
good.
one?
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
hard.
yeah, he's
Which
good.
one? Which one?
I forgot, is it H?
H.
Yeah.
I think it's
He's from Manchester.
He's hard.
Yeah.
It's him, and then there's this other guy, man. Who's the guy?
Another
that
black
makes-
one, right?
The
Another
black guy. He wears big jeans.
Yeah,
he likes wearing jeans.
yeah.
It's a bit-
That one. I forgot it.
Mist. That's the name. Mist.
Missed. Oh, okay.
Mist.
Yeah.
Mist is hard.
Yeah.
It took me 10 minutes, man, just to find his name, man. I think Mist is really good, man. But I'm really into
Really,
UK.
I think someone like him, like I just haven't really listened. I've seen him
he's good.
featured on songs, but I
He's
haven't.
good. He's got a few bangers. I like UK. For me, I just only listen to UK anyway. I don't because the American stuff is like
I think for me with America, I like the production. It's the production I like. I've always liked the
the songs
production.
are silly, man.
It depends on what you're talking, because I'm not even talking. I don't
Like,
listen
who
to,
do you
like-
listen to?
See, I listen to Kendrick Lamar. I listen to J. Cole. I'll listen to like Big Sean.
Yeah, Big Sean's a good rapper.
I listen to Big
He's
Sean.
very,
I don't
under,
listen to
he's
Mum-
very underestimated.
He's-
man.
he's underrated.
Underrated, I should
He's
say.
definitely
yeah.
underrated.
He's a really good rapper.
Who else? Obviously, I listen to Drake as well.
Yeah.
So it's people, I listen to artists that I like Meek Mill as well.
Yeah, I like me.
So that's what I'm saying. I don't listen to I don't listen to like mumble rappers or anything, but I do like certain songs. Like I like Future. Do like some of Future's tracks, especially the Turn Up tracks as well. So
I'm just, I'm indifferent. When I hear it, I'm like, I'm not. Yeah, I'm indifferent. My wife is into stuff like that. My wife loves
Really?
trap. Oh yeah, she goes crazy. Mumble rap, whatever, man. Yeah, she goes crazy.
I like people like Kodak Black. I like his music.
Yeah, he's good. I like it.
think he's good.
Yeah.
Who else?
No, but then that's the thing. You see, some of these people, yeah, the type of person they are, I don't like. Because Kodak Black, a lot of the stuff that he says,
Yeah.
like that just makes me like switch off on him whatsoever. Like,
Well, it's all about media, He just want to get attention.
nah,
sometimes.
he says,
No. He said
says-
wild
he says
things.
Some controversial
He
stuff.
said some wild
really-
things
No, it's just
that are unforgivable,
you don't do that.
personally.
You don't do that. Yeah.
Even like the Baby. I like some of the songs he's come out with as
Who's
well.
the baby?
The Baby.
He's
the baby?
that's an artist. That's his name.
Is he new?
Nah, he's been around for a bit.
Shug.
His name,
You never
man.
heard it? Shug.
Sure.
He's been around for a bit. There's lots of baby artists though.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But
Baby,
you say,
the baby.
The
is it the baby? And
This
what's on?
one's
What's on?
DA baby.
He's got Shug. He's got Bop on Broadway. He's got Baby with Little Baby.
Oh, bloody hell. The babies. What is it?
You never heard Shug by the Baby? Oh wow. Okay.
I think you'll know the bop
I
one.
know the song.
I must really know the song, but I don't
Probably know
know
the
the
song.
artist.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, for me, I mainly listen to Afro beats and bashment.
This is your-
That's the thing. I'm with you. I saw on that.
Afro beats and
You
bashment.
did say something interesting about Afro beats, because you mentioned, I think it was episodes before that, obviously because you got kids in the house.
Yeah.
A lot of American music is there's a lot of there's a lot of
Lot of the
inappropriate language
yeah,
in there.
language.
But whereas
Definitely.
with Afro beats, you can play that in the background and there's no inappropriate language,
Yeah.
and so you probably have that playing
Yeah.
around for the children.
But I can see it slowly coming up, though.
No, but then there's a problem with Afro beats in the
Yeah.
sense that. So obviously, in the house, we don't watch music videos, especially American. So
'Cause
they
too
could like the
dirty,
song
yeah,
and stuff because obviously the list. You get in the car, the radio's on, they hear stuff. My daughter sings certain song, and I'm like, oh, I don't even know that these songs. That she knows all the lists, but they don't watch music videos because of some of the inappropriate stuff that you see in there.
Okay.
Plus, obviously, on the radio, it's filtered in regards to the language, so they'll
Yeah.
cut out some of the stuff. But the stuff with Afro beats, I even looked into playing some of the videos. Have you seen how raunchy some of the videos are?
It's not,
We might as well say you're watching an American video.
yeah.
So there's no point. So I don't watch Afrobeat videos. I just play the tracks.
yeah.
Because it's like, and that's the thing I always find difficult. Why do we always have to like pander? Like Afrobeats is doing its own thing. Like you don't have to do your music
They slowly
video
want to.
to suit what Americans have been doing.
It's not
for
really
ages.
the Americans,
and that's
it's
the
the
thing I
viewers.
like about it's Americans. Personally, those type of raunchy videos for me personally came from America. That's what I like about the UK scene, because the UK scene don't have to do that. A lot of the Dave and Finn and Kano and stuff, their videos is not about that whatsoever.
But then they're influenced also by American artists.
I'm not
for
disputing
example,
that they're not
like
influenced.
Nas, for example, like Dr. Dre or Jay-Z. But obviously, as what you said, they do implement their own style.
I do see what you mean though about the videos though. They don't show a lot of that sort of
It's
stuff.
not needed.
No, they
So,
don't, they don't.
I think their videos are definitely more reflective
Yeah.
of their environment, and they're sort of It's showing the reality of where they're from. It's not necessarily about conveying any sort of like, it's like raunchy sexual.
Girls just they're shaking their bum for no apparent reason for 10 seconds of my time. Like, wow, like seriously.
Guys, have you noticed about this artist in UK artist? He has a mask on.
Yeah, he was on
Honcho.
What?
M. Honcho.
I think
Why-
I
why
don't
is
like
on the
him.
Nasty Show.
Why is he having a mask
I
on?
don't think he's that good personally.
Mate, he's got a big following, man.
He might do, but for me personally, I was.
Big following. The thing is, he's one of those artists as well that I've never really caught onto his music because I don't know. It's just, but I must say though, he was explaining why he wears the mask. On the Nasty Show, and it was really, I really like what he was saying.
But what was it?
He was saying that obviously in the whole celebrity like. You go everywhere that you go, people are troubling you, this, that. But for him, he wears the mask to protect his identity in that way, so he could have a private life.
Okay.
So, like literally 5 minutes before he gets home is when he takes the mask off. He could walk down the road and no one will know who he is. And he likes that element of trying to live a normal life whilst being a celebrity as such per se, because he'll be able to. He could distinguish between the two clearly.
But how long?
If he goes missing now, let's say he doesn't have a hit for the rest of his life. Working in whatever thing, you're not going to say, "Oh, what happened to you, M. Honcho?"
Yeah.
Who cares? You don't have to deal with this, and you don't have to deal with this constant mental thing of, "Oh, I need another hit." Oh, I need, because that's the stuff where people say, where sometimes for celebrities, you can imagine even people. And I'm going to touch on Love Island because I was listening to a few things about Love Island.
Please,
right?
let's do.
And you could talk about, you literally just came out of Love Island. You have a buzz. Everyone wants to have you everywhere. You go to club, it's free, all these kind of stuff. Then what, a month, 3 months time, no one cares about you because there's someone else that's come through Love Island. Imagine that hysteria that you had at one point of you being the key person that everyone knows to now no one cares.
The glory.
And it's like, how do you try to get that buzz back?
Yeah.
It must be really challenging.
Yeah, I can imagine, yeah.
So when he was explaining it that way, it was very interesting, and I was like, okay, that's really good that for you, I can understand why you want to do that. So for me, it's really, really good and interesting explanation that he gave on the Nasty Show.
Perspectives, different views, one voice.
So I was listening to LBC. Don't ask me why I'm back on the LBC, but I feel like generally I like to hear conversations, even if I don't agree.
Okay.
So I'm back on there because 90% I don't agree with what they're saying, but I just like the topics that they discuss.
Yeah.
And I like to understand the viewpoint of people that call in. And I feel like you grow a lot of the times by listening to people that you disagree with. Because
just out of curiosity, which one do you listen to?
I don't mind. I don't have a preference. I just switch on the light. I'll be going home now. I'll turn it on. Whoever is on, I just listen to. I don't have specific, because the problem I have is I will not sit at home and listen to LBC.
Okay.
Personally, I won't do
It's
that.
on your journey.
Like, if I'm in the car, I'll switch it on and listen to whatever conversations they're having. So I'm not that religious and like that. But they were talking about the whole, what's her name? The lady that passed away?
Caroline
Flack, and some of the mental issues that she was going through and all those kind of stuff, and the hysteria around the mental state of celebrities. And actually, the key point that they made, apparently some salons in the north or somewhere have released a statement saying that they're not going to be buying any these press, like these celebrity magazines anymore. They're not going to have any of them in their salons, based on this Caroline Flack stuff that happened, because it's the invasion of privacy, innit? I always feel that even as a celebrity, you need to have a bit of a private life.
Yeah.
But in regards to the press, in order to sell, they need to find out all sorts of stuff. They almost will be digging through your bin just to find out, he bought bloody pizza from Pizza, and then write that. It's a non-story, but someone's going to read about it. And I guess those salons are making that decision because they feel like there's too much invasion of privacy, which has then led to someone doing something like that.
It's interesting you say that. Like my missus said to me yesterday, she said there was an article that Kanye West, I think Kim Kardashian went into KFC and Kanye West wouldn't let her order chips, and we were like, why is that even news? It's just like
it's true.
It's just like,
but then you start talking about it. You saw what I was glued. I was like, what happened? Yeah, who cares?
But what I'm going to try and say as well,
but don't you want to know why, though? You want to know? I'm just messing, man.
Yeah, but the way we're moving forward now, as what you guys have just brought up, is like the world is all about media, and the world is all about what we know and what we are information when they're getting it. If we're a celebrity, for example, LDN Perspective is going to be going to be
LDN.
LDN. Sorry, my listeners.
Like, butchering our name, man. I like that.
LDN Perspective going to elevate in somehow. We have to prepare for this. You get it?
It depends on the exposure, though. Sometimes how do you really prepare for
no, that's what I'm trying to say.
exposure?
This is what I'm trying to say. Like, as an individual, you have to prepare that you're going to become famous. You're going to become this certain keys in your life. You have to prepare for it because it's going to be a situation where your life's going to be turned around. And this media or these social journalists, they need information. It's like selling point. You know what I mean? It's like selling point. I need information from you. I don't care how I get it. As long as I get that information, it's benefiting me. I don't care if I'm going to destroy you or hurt you or stab you. I just need it for my own benefit because at the same time, for me personally, I want to be known. I want to be out there as well. So I heard what you're saying, right? But like even in the chips, as what Cam just mentioned, is still relevant because the people in this earth, some of them are just, they've got a fan base that they're just craving for every information of their fan. Does that make sense? Like, they want to know everything. If the fan even go to the toilet, they want to know what the fan
You want to know what type of shit that they drop, man.
Yeah, so
big ones
The fan or the celebrity?
well, the celebrity as the fan, you know what I mean? Like, they need to...
The fans want to know everything
like the celebrity. So it's a
No, but then
your
that's the
mental
thing.
issue. You need to understand.
But then that's the thing. It's a mental issue, but it's created by the media because like it becomes a thing of I want more, I want more, I want more, I want more.
Yeah.
How many? And if you're feeding into it to say how many can you provide? Actually, I digged up that thing that I said about Caroline Flack. So this was in the Independent 2 days ago, and the headline is Caroline Flack's death prompts hair and beauty salons to boycott gossip magazines. So hair and beauty salons across the UK have announced they will no longer be providing their customers with gossip magazines to read, I should say. And I guess, obviously, this is just down the whole idea of the death and the invasion of privacy and stuff. Yeah. Which is interesting, because I'm thinking, why is it taking this long for someone to actually make such a stand?
But what's the entertainment? Well, say, for example, if our missus going to a salon, staying there for, good 2 hours, doing your hair, what entertainment would you have?
Did you just say that? There's so many different things. There's magazines about...
I'm a guy. I don't understand. I don't understand.
No, but then
you know
that statement is loaded in a sense that you're saying that most women that goes in there, that's the prime thing to entertain themselves about. It's almost like not everyone is that fickle. We know that there is a market for such things, but I can't say everyone that walks into a salon is that fickle just to go through gossip magazines, if you get what I mean. Like
because there's fashion magazines.
Yeah, there's fashion. There could be about, I don't know, house. There could be about career. There could be about property. There could be about all sorts of different things.
No, I heard you.
So it doesn't just have to be about the celebrity and stuff.
Perspectives, different views, one voice.
But I wanted to throw something in. I know I heard Piers Morgan speaking about how. Do you think a lot of it is fueled by our generation being too soft and too sensitive?
Hypersensitive.
Yeah. His argument is that he prefers the good old days where people didn't really take everything so personally. You could say something and everyone isn't going to attack you because you've said it. You have to be really, really nice about it or whatever and stuff like that. People are more concerned with how things are said as opposed to what was actually said, if you get what I mean.
Thanks for bringing that up, because me and Cam was talking about that. No?
I think we were talking about Dwayne Wade and Boosie. So Dwayne Wade has been doing a lot of interviews regarding his son, who's come out as transgender. He identifies as being a girl. And I think, Boosie on his Instagram wasn't happy with that, and he had a bit of an outburst on Instagram saying, and I'm not going to repeat it word for word, but he just kind of said, don't allow the child to be making these sort of decisions at that age, and
which is right,
and he said, the child is, if your child is gay, then your child is gay. That's absolutely fine, but don't allow your child to make these sort of decisions where they could go through gender reassignment. Because I think he was more banging down on the fact that you could potentially allow your child to go through the surgery. I don't think Dwayne Wade had never even said that.
Yeah,
None of
he
that was
never
ever
brought
mentioned.
that.
So I think he was jumping the gun a bit. But as a result of saying that, the gym in which he made this announcement, because you could see when he was making an announcement on his phone, you could see the gym, sort of the sign of the gym at the back. They banned him.
What?
They banned Boosie from going to the gym. Apparently, and I read that it's because the manager of the gym is gay.
I swear that's illegal.
And because of that outburst, they've said, and Boosie went and I mean, I don't feel like he said anything offensive about. I mean, he voiced his opinion and he did it in a bit of an outburst, but I don't think it was offensive enough for them to start, to ban him from going to the gym just because he voiced his opinion. And I think that's where some of the hypersensitivity comes into play.
I think the danger from it, though, is his outburst of jumping the gun now caused so many other people to start attacking Dwayne Wade and attacking...
Why did they feel it necessary to bring this out in the public thing anyway? Why?
No, but that's the thing. He was just generally going through his experience of his child and the struggles that he was going through in terms of how his child was identifying themselves.
I just say, look, at the end of the day, when you're in the limelight, someone like Dwayne Wade, that's the person married to, what's her name, isn't it?
Gabriel Union.
Gabriel Union and stuff. When you're in the limelight and you bring stuff like this out there, people will comment about it.
Yeah,
it's a given.
Not necessary.
I don't understand why you would. Personally, for me, I'm just saying personally.
Yeah.
I'm not saying whatever. I'm just saying I do not understand that because there will be people that have their own view about that specific thing that you said.
That's it.
Yeah.
Whether you jump from 10 meters or 20 meters, someone will be like, oh, you should have jumped from 30 meters. People always have an opinion, especially when it comes in the limelight.
Yeah.
So you can't put stuff like that out there and then say, I understand your train of thought and I understand what Boosie did. I haven't personally seen it. So I'm just talking about how you guys have explained it. But one thing I'm just saying is that it's very difficult for someone to especially now that there's a lot of conversation around this whole LGBT and the whole transgender kind of stuff. When you put something like that out there, then people can take it and have their own opinion about it. Just based on what you said, I don't feel like there's anything wrong with what he said. I understand that he jumped the gun, especially if that interview, he did not mention anything about gender reassignment or anything like that. So I feel like, yes, he's jumped the gun. But I feel like we live in a society as well that people should be able to express how they feel. The same way that people fight for the fight right movement and then being able to do all sorts of stuff, Ku Klux Klan, all right, whatever nonsense. We all have to accommodate that. So why are people getting hit hard when they talk about certain stuff?
Well,
I thought it was a bit, over the top.
I understand what you're saying, don't get me wrong, but I feel like you're in the limelight, the type of person you are. If you talk about your children in that aspect,
you shouldn't bring in the media. Yeah, you shouldn't bring it.
I think the opinion thing wasn't the problem. The problem was the community attacking him, saying he's going to change the sex of the child.
Think about these issues.
Exactly.
The community, we have a problem within our community in regards to talking about this in the first place.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that it's right that the community attacks him. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that we have a problem within our community anyway, that anyone that mentions some of these stuff, this is kind of like some of the stuff that you should expect to receive. If I'm going out there like that, I need to expect these kind of
be prepared for it
in the community, because the community is not prepared for some of these conversations. We know this. That stuff we've been... So,
I still think it's not fair for someone to expect that kind of backlash.
But the media is not fair. The media in regards to what is publicised in the media about celebrities and stuff, that's what we're talking about. It's not fair. There's no fair system.
Yeah,
I feel like when you put yourself on that platform to expose certain situations in your family, then it is lamb to the slaughter. People will take it and drive it along any agenda. I'm not here to say it's right, but I'm just saying that the current state of matters, this is what happens.
Yeah, for me personally, what you just said, your statement, I have seen it, and it is happening. As what Cam say, hypersensitive. We're in this world now where we have to be careful of what we say, and especially, I don't want to step on your toe. I don't want to step on your toe. I don't want to step on anyone's toe, especially work environment. That's one, especially in the media section of it, and then that's another one, and especially type of industry that you encountered, because
you could even relate it back to even just speaking on this podcast as well, because you always have those thoughts in your mind where it's like, if I say something on this podcast, I could step on someone's toes, but this should be an environment where we should be able to share our own opinions.
Exactly. That's it. But it's not the case. That's the thing. That's what I'm trying to say.
It's not about PC and you finding ways to make it. But though, I'll let you finish your
Yeah,
point.
it's not the
It's
case.
justified.
No, but it's not the case, because I find, as what you said about the statement of Piers Morgan's, it's like we're in a society right now, we always want to please, and that shouldn't be the case. You know, it shouldn't be the case where I have to, even sometimes in a marriage, you have to be, your partner or your spouse is so sensitive towards how you approach yourself or what words you're going to say. And you shouldn't be like that, because if your partner knows your intention is good to what you're going to say, because it's the benefit for them or it's going to benefit them, I personally think, like, because for me personally, I'm a person, I'm very clear, I'm very straightforward. I say how it is. I'm not in a way where I feel like, oh, what's that person's going to feel? Because the way I approach things or how I talk to people is because of my love for that person. If I talk to you, it doesn't mean that I want to stab you, or it doesn't mean that I hate you. That means I have that love for you, because the way I see it is like, okay, if I'm talking to you and being real, I want that same back, that same towards. I want you to be real with me. That's the way I see it.
The thing is,
but the world now does not see that way.
Yeah, but then that's the stuff though, and it always comes down to interpretation, where a lot of people have made certain statements and they said, "Oh, I was misinterpreted in regards to what I wanted to say."
Yeah,
and that's the problem that you have when we're talking about sensitivity. Because
Yeah.
I feel like people are talking about being hypersensitive. Hypersensitive. And then you have to go down to the root cause to say, how did we get here in the first place? It's because people have learned that their behavior before was unacceptable, or people have learned the repercussions of certain behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what you have to understand with human beings, we're always trying to adapt. We're always trying to find a better place. We're always trying to look back and see what have we done that's really bad and why are we trying to change it. Mm-hmm. And it goes back down to the conversation that we're having now. Because people talk about being hypersensitive, but black people are really hypersensitive when it comes to race. When it comes to white people talking about race. Yeah. Right? So I feel like on one hand, you cannot sit there and I think we've touched on this conversation before. You could make excuses for someone that was brought up back in the day. It's coming here now using certain words, which is not acceptable now. But in their mind, they don't mean anything bad by it.
No.
They're just calling you a nigger because back in the day, they used to call you a nigger. So why are you being so sensitive about it? This is what I'm saying. And this is no. There isn't. This is the stuff. It's interpretation. So for me, I didn't mean it like that. I'm just calling you black because back in the day, that's what we used to refer to.
And that what Luis Suarez said when he...
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying, though. This is what I'm going with when people are talking about hypersensitive and all this kind of stuff. This is the extreme case I'm trying to put here. All right. But there are other cases where... Because you had... Who is the director or whatever, managing director or whatever for Ryanair? Do you know his name? I forgot his name anyway. But he made a statement. He was interviewed by the New York Post, and he was asked a question around how they would deal with fast tracking when it comes to like airport security. Mm-hmm. And he was like,
I saw it. I saw the article. I saw
Michael O'Leary. Do you know how many times this guy has gone back to say that he was misinterpreted in regards to comments that he's made? Yeah. And do you know what the comment that he's made? He's like, let's not waste time on the families and stuff here. We know who the people that keep committing terrorism is. It's just that but black, what do you say? He said, young Muslim men. Yeah, let's just target them. And then families, let's just let families go through. Now, making a comment like that, and people are going to be like, oh, hypersensitive. Mate, I'm sorry, like, you should not... This is the stuff where sometimes I'm like, yeah, I understand on one hand, but then on the other hand, people are making all sorts of comments already anyway. Piers Morgan is, like, known for that. He makes all sorts of statements. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So, because how do you qualify this Michael O'Leary stuff? Because he's come and said that he was misinterpreted. This is what I'm saying. And this is what Ali's saying, where you could come out and say something, oh, I have the best interest. Oh, so my interest was never to hurt Muslim people or never to make them come across as terrorists or whatever. No. But the statement that he made is basically making them come across as terrorists. All young Muslim men are terrorists. Is basically what you're saying. Yeah. But that's not your interpretation. So how am I meant to take that?
So in counter to what you just said, I was in a discussion whereby someone mentioned that we then go down the dangerous lines as a community as being hypocrites.
Yes.
In the sense whereby we judge ourselves by our intentions, but judge others by their actions. but you don't give other people that benefit of the doubt and of intentions as you do to yourself.
Yeah, but then this is why when these people, Michael O'Leary, then come and say, oh, I was misinterpreted, then it's up to the person, like the Muslim community, to say, oh, did this guy actually mean bad to our community, or they're going to say, as a human being, I make mistakes. So, do you get what I mean? And it comes with that's also part of the conversation. But what I'm saying is, it's not necessarily being hypersensitive in the sense of, I just want you more to think about the stuff that you're saying and how it could be interpreted, rather than you just saying it because that's the first thought that comes in your mind. Like, I have a partner. I can't talk to my partner anyhow.
No.
Yeah.
Like, so if I have to think about how I talk to my partner, because I know, she said, I remember back in the day, I think she must have called me an idiot. And as a young African man, you calling me an idiot? What do you mean this is? That don't go down. And I know your intention. You don't think that I'm an idiot.
No.
I know you don't.
No.
But that's language that I need to cut. Yeah. Why do I do that?
Body language.
Am I being hypersensitive? Or is it because of my culture and tradition?
Love language. Love language.
Yeah, all the love language stuff. But
side,
where do we draw the line here?
Yeah, it's true.
We have partners, and we know the communication methods that we have with our partners. Because I know, you can't go home and just talk to your missus anyhow.
No.
She knows that you love her. Yeah. So why does she feel a certain way then?
Hey.
That's what was elaborating earlier. It's true. No, it's true. It's true.
Nah, man.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And it's just because it's the lasting, the words that you say, the lasting impression that someone takes away from that.
Until next time, that's the LDN Perspective.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the LDN Perspective podcast. Please get in contact with us. We want to create more of an organic platform. So if you have any questions, please check our Instagram page, which is LDN Perspective. You could also reach us on Twitter, Perspective LDN. And please, you could always drop us an email at ldnperspective@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.
Perspectives, different views, one voice.